Gameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our Any Given Saturday FCS Game of the Week preview between the North Dakota State Bison and the Youngstown State Penguins. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Bison.
The best word to describe the Bison on offense would be dictating. Controlling the line of scrimmage allows you as an offense to then control the game. Now the Bison are one of the best running football teams in the country, and Brock Jensen is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the FCS. Now versus Youngstown State, I expect the Bison to try to play the quote-unquote possessions game, was all about clock control, long sustained drives, and red zone execution. If they can do that, they will put a lot of pressure on Youngstown State's offense to try to maximize their own opportunities. No, Grant Olsen is a big-time loss to the Bison defense, but this is a defense that has played without Olsen before. The secondary and the pass defense in general will face a tough test this week versus the Penguins. That's why you have to look at the Bison's defensive line being able to get pressure without blitzing, because if they blitz, Kurt Hess is a quarterback that can definitely make you pay. Now let's move over to Youngstown State in this ball game, and center Chris Elkins and that interior offensive line will be counted on to get the running game going versus North Dakota State. And I believe the Penguins can run the football versus the Bison if they spread the field and the interior guys do their part. So I look for the Penguins to play the spacing game to try to create room for running back Martin Ruiz, who's having an outstanding freshman campaign. And Youngstown State should also take early shots deep downfield versus All-American cornerback Marcus Williams, who's not at 100% with a sore knee. So maybe those double moves to try to get him to change direction could be a huge success for that offense. Defensively, the Penguins boast one of the best and most active defensive lines in the FCS, led by Kyle Cyril and Emmanuel Croma. Their job this week versus the Bison will be to maintain the line of scrimmage, stay gap discipline, and clear room for the linebacking core led by Tevin Williams to make plays at or near the line of scrimmage. You want to make this a Kurt Hess versus Brock Jensen game, and that's always the goal when you're playing North Dakota State. The X factor in this ball game for the Bison will be their pass defense. Like I've said before, Marcus Williams is not at 100%, so he's going to be subject to double moves. They're going to try to target him early. And overall, we look at Youngstown State being able to spread the field with the passing game, so the secondary will have to bring their A game this week versus Youngstown State. The X factor for the Penguins will be their quarterback Kurt Hess, who does a great job already winging it around the football field, getting everyone involved, but he's going to have to make the right checks at the line of scrimmage, getting in the right protection and getting out of bad plays. If he has an excellent game, Youngstown State can walk away victorious versus the Bison. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For North Dakota State, you want to make this a horizontal game. You want to get these guys going sideline to sideline, attacking the flats, so that way you can rally up and make a tackle. You don't want them to go vertical because, again, your secondary right now is not at 100%. And linebacker Carlton Littlejohn, he has to continue to be disruptive. Had an outstanding game last week. Can he carry that over to this week versus the Penguins? That's going to be a big key. And the defense can bend, but they can't break in the red zone. If they stay playing stellar defense in the red zone like they've done all season long, they can knock off the Penguins. And for the Penguins in this ball game, you want to win the battle on the flanks. You'll look at cornerback Julius Childs and Dale Peterman. Those two guys are excellent cornerbacks, and they have to win those one-on-one matchups versus the wide receivers. And I would also send delayed pressure versus Brock Jensen. If they can get him on the ground or frustrate that passing game, I think it goes a long way in helping the Penguins pull off the upset. And the pass protection has to be excellent. You want to keep Kurt Hess well protected in the pocket so that way he can find those targets deep down the field. Now here are some 2014 draft prospects you want to keep an eye on in this ballgame. And we've talked about the Bison's prospects before. You look at Marcus Williams, outstanding cornerback regardless of division. Billy Turner, one of the best tackles in the country, 6'6", 311. Very impressed with Brock Jensen, the quarterback, has put together on film as a senior at 6'3", 222. And Ryan Smith, a diminutive wide receiver, 5'7", 175, but plays big each and every weekend. And for Youngstown State, we've talked about their outstanding quarterback, Kurt Hess, one of the best pure passers at the FCS level. And Chris Elkins, a preseason football game plan All-American center, 6'4", 300 pounds. This is a guy, in my opinion, has the best future out of everyone of the bunch. Steve Walker is the best quarterback in North Dakota State history. Here's a guy from 2004 to 2007, compiled a 30-6 record, and is the all-time leading passer with over 7,000 yards. quarterback Ron Jaworski, aka the Polish Rifle, set 11 school records throughout the course of his Penguin career from 1969 to 1972 and is definitely a campus legend and the best quarterback in Youngstown State history. I like North Dakota State in this ball game, and even without star linebacker Grant Olson, this is still a very good defense. And I want you to keep an eye on Carlton Littlejohn. He had a very good game last week. Does bring a lot more speed and athleticism to that linebacker position, but on offense, they will control the line of scrimmage. They will be able to run the football. I think they'll move on to 10-0.